Hello, Reese. David? I was just beginning to think, oh, maybe it's broken again because it was over 1 minute. Now, the new challenge is that I have emptied this computer's disk to auxiliary disk, and I've made it all free, the memory, but it keeps telling me your disk is almost full. Save space by optimizing storage. Okay, I guess I'll do that later. Ah, David, good. Christina, is it the first time you're here, Christina, or have I forgotten that you've been here before? It looks new, or maybe you haven't been here for a long time. El Haj, hello El Haj, I missed you guys too. We got it fixed, and it was probably my own fault. Ross, the king is back. All right, okay, where's my kingdom? Good to see you, Ross. Hello, Karina. Good to see you. I'm not confused to, should I still call you Ra or Karina or Karine? So give me a hint. Jesus, hello dear. Ross, long live the king. All right, thank you, I'll take that. Johnny Be Good says hello, and hello to you as well, Johnny. Adam, where have you been, Adam? It's been a long time, I believe. So just before it's forgotten, guys, make sure you click on the like of the live streaming, if you will. That helps us to be more noticeable by YouTube's algorithm. Bobby says good evening. Ah, Bobby from UK, good to see you, dear. Ah, okay. Now, Ra, am I mistaken or am I correct to think Ra stands for Rahele? Am I correct, or is it something else, or is it a nickname you found for yourself? Johnny Be Good says, good to finally talk to you live. Listen to all your videos and you've helped me a lot. I'm so delighted to hear that. That's the whole idea. Noura Ahmed says hello. Hello, Noura. Stian from Norway, I believe. 26-year-old male from Norway. Yes, there we go. Hello, Mehran. Good to see you. Good to see you, dear. You know, it is so nice of you, Stian, that you remember the protocol. Please, guys, the idea is to help me to remember or have a geographical or some kind of an idea who I'm talking to by letting me know where you're tuning in from, which country, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman, because it's not always easy to see your pictures or to be familiar with the names that is being used. And good to see you too, Stian. Ayushman, hello. Says, sir, I have moved on, but still in a day my ex still comes in my mind and I'm still afraid that I might see her. I have blocked her in Instagram, so because of that I don't open my blocking list. Now, that I might see her changed up. So what's to be scared about? Is she that ugly that you're afraid to see her? So what? She comes to your mind, she comes to your mind. Everyone's ex from time to time could possibly come to, you know, the mind. And that's okay. Don't be afraid of your memory. The memory is your slave. The memory is simply an inventory of files like the old pictures. But each picture, when you see the old pictures, may trigger a certain kind of an emotion in you. You must remind yourself that that emotion is not in existence anymore. The source of that emotion is no longer alive, no longer in existence. It's a dead event. So whatever triggers a certain emotion in you, hate, anger, love, sadness, regret, whatever, just remember, you are suffering, you are feeling, showing emotion about an event that event is no longer in existence. What are you showing the emotions for? What your emotion is based on is something that is dead. Why do you think the emotion is alive then? You should remind yourself that that emotion that is triggered is based on something that at one time it was alive, but no longer is. Therefore, the emotion that I'm feeling right now must not be taken seriously either. Consider it non-existence, dead. Then you will be aware that this is just a memory, an echo, not anything real to it. It's like you're watching a movie and there's a scary scene in the movie, and you keep reminding yourself, it's a movie, it's a movie, it's a movie. They're actors, actresses. They're all fine. They're at home having pizza and popcorn and going out, and they're all fine and healthy. Nothing bad happened. You remind yourself, then you come out of that belief that that whole thing that you're witnessing, watching, is true, is actuality, is truth, is reality. Then that settles you down, and you're no longer that scared. Same thing, when you remember or remind yourself or be triggered to remember X or whatever, instead of feeling, oh, now what I'm gonna do, oh, that's what I've lost. What? First of all, that relationship doesn't exist. So whatever you lost, you already lost. Whatever you remember you lost, you already lost before. And it's not a loss anymore. It was because it was disqualified. It was no longer qualified to be of interest to you. For whatever reason, whether she didn't want it, you didn't want it, what she did, what you did. The fact that it's broken up, it means it's no longer qualified to be part of your life or for you to wish for it. Think of it as how it is, not how it once was. Then you will not miss it. Focus on what things were wrong with it and why you broke on up. Whatever, she didn't want it, you didn't want it, whatever it was, it's no longer a relationship. Remind yourself of that. You'll be free from worrying about if you remember her or if you see her. When you see her, consider that she's a woman that is not qualified to be with you because she doesn't reciprocate your feelings towards her. Therefore, that's a deal breaker. If someone is not interested in you, you have no reason to pursue her. Why should you? You want to pursue, you want to be in a relationship with someone who wants you. For whatever reason that she decided not wanting you, that's what disqualifies her. And that's the end of that. All right. Lord Simon. Guys, we have 26 people here. Let's make sure you click on the like before you forget. Lord Simon says, I'm so afraid to approach with a new girl. What are you afraid of? Is she a boogeyman? If it is, hey, run away. But you're afraid of rejection. But hey, rejection is part of this life. You reject it in every moment. The things that you want, the job that you want, the places that you want to go, maybe the movie that you want to buy the ticket is sold out. Things you want to have and you don't have enough money for it. It's all rejections, but you're okay with all that. The only thing that you're not okay about is something to do with intimacy, sex, and your desires, and what you crave. You got to come to terms with that. That your hormones, your desire, your pursuit of pleasure, your ego, these are all your slaves. You are not their slave. They're your slave. You're the boss. You tell the ego what to want, not want, how to feel. You tell the desire what is qualified to be desired, and not just because it is desired, then I have to go after it. No, you decide. Okay, I desire this, I can feel it. Desire has been born, and we've talked about in the other videos how desire is born, but we're not going to discuss it now here. But desire is born. Okay, so I desire it, but I still have the last word. I make the decision, should I pursue this desire or not? Just because you desire something doesn't mean you should go for it. You got to be in control of it. Say, hey, if pursuing this desire is beneficial to me or not. Is it qualified or not? Otherwise, your hormones will run your life. And that is not the freedom that we're talking about. The freedom that we're talking about is freedom from your ego, freedom from your desire, freedom from your need for pleasure and thinking pleasure is everything, sacrificing everything in your life for pleasure, which is by itself is an escape. Pleasure is escape from reality. So a certain amount of it is necessary and fun, but thinking that pleasure is the whole purpose of your life is the doomsday coming. That's how it ruins your life. So you got to be the master, not these little fragments of your center, of who you are, of your persona. So once you understand that, then you become the boss of you. The you, the me, the most important thing is the one that decides, not that the ego and desire decide for the center, for the me. You have to understand that. And that includes your hormones, your pleasure, the things that you really think is very important. But it's important because you use them as an excuse not to accomplish anything else in your life. Instead of going and building something out of yourself and accomplishing something, you basically want to go and hide in the bosom of a pleasure and feel that because I'm having fun, I'm feeling great because of pleasure, then nothing else I need to accomplish. Because I wanted to accomplish all those things to get the pleasure. Now that I have a certain kind of pleasure, I don't want anything else. So it's an escape from responsibility. Like the people who start drinking a lot or get on drugs, or people who just want to have a girlfriend to feel like, oh, I'm complete now because I have pleasure, I have romance, I have intimacy, and therefore I'm beside myself. It's the most important thing. I don't want anything else. So you become a loser by not accomplishing things that really builds a life, and you keep pursuing pleasure. You cannot build a relationship based on pleasure. Pleasure is not smarts. Pleasure is all that, just that, pleasure. So you gotta know where to draw the line, and you still would have the last word to which pleasure that makes you feel good is also good for you. Because not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. You gotta be alert to that and be the boss of you. All right, let's go to where was I? I lost you guys. Okay. All right. I think that's where we are. We were. Lord Simon says, greetings from Italy. Buenas noches. Or buongiorno. It's probably pretty late at night. I'm 20 years old, Lord Simon says. I met a girl in the university and I fell in love with her. Do you really think you fell in love? That's called lust. You don't fall in love with a girl at the first sight. You fall in love only after you guys get to know each other's consciousness, understand each other's compatibility toward each other, interact with each other through time. You see each other, how you function and negotiate life when you're outing, restaurants, fun, whatever it is that you're doing, and you see how you each function in the society, and you see how that resonates with you, the things you find in common in how to negotiate life. You understand each other's consciousness, and before you do that, you got to understand your own consciousness, relationship between your own thoughts and consciousness, your fears, desires, and ego, where do they come from, what they are, how they play a role in your life. And once you understand that, have that knowledge about your order, your psychological security, your I forgot what I wanted to say. When you understand all those ingredients and those fragments, then all the mechanical process, then you have the ability to understand the same things in your partner, and that's when you guys would be able to see the real each other, not just the image you will create of each other in your own head based on your own need, and you make the other person so high up because you're selfish, you want to make yourself look so big, then you make the person that you seem to like so important, so you will say, I am very important, therefore what I like is very important. So you make her important to feel important yourself, which is really, you're tricking yourself and you're not doing yourself a favor. You create an illusion, and then you fall in love with that illusion rather than the reality of the person. That person is a human being, is not an angel. You got to see it all through. Then you can fall in love. So let's get back to your question. Perhaps we answered that part of it here. To know that when you see a girl and you have the urges and you're attracted to her, that's not love. That's what's in your program, in your genes. The heterosexual male is programmed in his genes, her genes, to pursue procreation, and that's what it is you're attracted to, in your case, to a woman. So therefore, you must be clear on that. So you say, I'm in the university and I fell in love with her, but I broke up with my ex 4 months ago, but after my breakup, I lost my self-esteem. So this is the story. You met this girl, you fell in love, you guys became boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you broke up 4 months ago with the same girl that you fell in love with. Am I following it correctly? And then now, because of that breakup, you've lost yourself. You lost yourself where? Where? In an imaginary, illusionary field of importance. You created something imaginary that is so important. You created an importance of certain events, certain relationship, because you needed it to be important. And you're not focused on realizing, wanting to realize, that was just that, a relationship. It wasn't your whole life. It can't be that important. It's just disappointing because you're following your urges, your hormones, your desire for pleasure. Through fulfilling your desires, you'll arrive to pleasure, and through that you fluff your ego, and all of that is playing around with you and making you think that that relationship was the whole life. It wasn't. It was just an experience. It didn't work. What does it have to do with your self-esteem? What has fallen off of you? If you look around, self-esteem, what? Look change? No. Smarts change? No. Abilities change? No. Did you lose your job? Well, if you did, well, that's pretty bad because of this. Perhaps no. You're still in university? Okay, you're doing your classes, right? The opportunity is there, right? So whether you take it or not, it's your choice. Not that you can't complete your studies because you lost your self-esteem or your smarts. No. You basically are now choosing to sit and do nothing. But you haven't lost anything. So your thoughts, your decision making, because you've given so much importance to that relationship, you think you've convinced yourself that that was very important, so now you've lost something very important. In your mind, you made that so big, now that it's no longer there, you think you've lost something so big. But that, what you call so big, was a creation of your mind. It wasn't really that big. It was just a relationship. No big deal. But the fact that you've been conditioned all through your life to be compared with the other boys, what they are, what they can do, and you want to be better than everybody else, a certain kind of a comparison all the time. Now in your mind you think, oh, because it's broken up, now I'm not good enough, somebody else is better than me. Or I have lost something extraordinary because I was in love with it, and what I loved, because I think of myself so highly, so I made what I loved so big so I would feel mighty myself. So I made that too important to feel important. Now I convinced myself that that was really important. Now that I've lost it, I'm thinking I've lost something important. But you made that to be feeling or illusional importance in your head. It wasn't really that important. You created that importance out of the relationship on purpose. You may not have noticed it, but you created it so you will feel fluffing your ego. Because we are all like that, you know, we are the most important thing in the world. So what I love must be the most important thing in the world. So you make that so big that when it doesn't work, you feel you really lost something so big. But not really. It was a make-believe. If you focus on that, you will notice nothing has come off of you. You're still the same person, same capabilities, same abilities. You're the same person who found this, what you call a big love. It was you who found it, so you can find another one. Because all the ingredients for you, capabilities in you, is still the same. If not, you're even better than before, more, wiser, more experienced. So if anything, your self-esteem should have shot to the roof after the first initial sadness of having lost a mate, an intimate relationship. That's it. Otherwise, what's there to think that you've lost something? Something so irreplaceable. What? What? She's another human being doing her things that you happen to like. It was you who gave that love to her. It was you. Because of you, she became so important. If there was no you, if it wasn't your love, your emotions towards her, she would not feel so important. You walk about the town, you see many other girls. Do you see of them? Do you think of them as so important? No, why? Because you don't give your love to them. So it is you who makes them important by expressing your emotional love and directing it towards them. So it's all about you. You created that importance in that person by giving that love to her. Otherwise, she by herself did not create, there's so many other women pass by you don't pay attention to. But somebody else pays attention to them and they become so important to them. So it is the attention that you give to the other that makes that other more important. So it's all about you. You are the one who give value to things, not that to other people. Not that they themselves, by themselves, have that value oozing out of them and you have no choice but bow to it. No. For certain reason, you become infatuated. For certain reason, you value them. And for certain reason, and some selfish reason, you create an importance in them. All your attention and love is what makes them so important. The importance doesn't come from them. It comes from you to them. If you can understand that, then you'll be fine. Your self-esteem is even higher because you realize you're the boss. You're the one who give the value to them. Not that they had the value and now they've gone, so you lost something valuable. You gave them the value, now you give that to someone else. And everything is cool again. I hope you understood what I tried to confuse you with. I hope you understood what I was trying to show you. David, male 23, Dallas, Texas. Hello, David. Good to see you. And that's the protocol, guys. Saying you know, how old you are, where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman. That helps me a lot to tailor make my responses to them, to you. Halimina, Holy Mina, or Holy Mina, Holy Mina, okay. Oh, that's Imane. Oh, yes, I remember now, from Algeria. Hello, Imane, how are you? My ex, she says, in the city for 3 days. Should I go and see him to tell him how badly he hurts me? Since I've never got the chance to tell him that before, cause he ghosted me. What purpose would it serve? You're paying more attention to him by making him important enough that he should know. You think he doesn't know? But you just want to give him shit, that's all. You feel you will rise if you tell him you're a piece of shit and I don't need you. If it makes you feel good, go ahead. But you should be beyond that. You should not worry about why a donkey pisses in the street. That's because it's a donkey. So now you say, I gotta go and tell this donkey that you pissed in the street. You are no good. Well, it's a donkey. Whether he understands it or not, most probably he doesn't even understand. He thinks pissing in the street is the way to go. So if you tell a donkey, do you think that makes a difference to the donkey? No, it's still a donkey. Maybe listens to you that why you're angry. All he thinks is, well, I just pissed in the street. Why is she angry? Because he thinks, a donkey thinks that's a normal thing to do. That's his level of understanding. Now you want to bring the donkey to a higher level of understanding so he can be ashamed of pissing in the street so you can feel good. That's a donkey. You're wasting your time on a donkey. Go spend your time with someone who can understand. This idiot who ghosted you, or whatever reason didn't have enough, courtesy to talk to you, to a girlfriend, talk to you and resolve or sever the relationship with discussion or with communication. You expect him, that was his level of understanding, but you expect his level of understanding to be more than that. And you think by telling him, you've brought his level of understanding higher, so he will be ashamed of what he's done. If he was going to be ashamed of what he's done, he wouldn't have done it. So that was his level of understanding, cowardice, the way he would negotiate or interact or communicate. That's his level. You expect everyone's level to be higher than that so they can actually be ashamed of their shameful behavior. Why do you think it's important? Let the donkey be a donkey and go on. Find a horse and ride a horse. You want to tell him a piece of your mind? Yeah. If you want to. Makes you feel good. That's what it is. Makes you feel good. But the donkey will still remain a donkey. You expect an understanding and intelligence from a donkey. That's what you're really going for. Think about it. But if it makes you feel good, go ahead. But don't expect too much. All right. Ayushman says, India, 19, man. Okay, good. Johnny Be Good, USA, 28 male. USA is a big country, you know. What part? Christina, Canada. There we go. We got a Canadian here. 34 female. Hello, Christina. What part of Canada? And Johnny Be Good. What part of USA? Guys, make sure you like the streaming if you're liking it, and make sure that you do that before we forgot. That helps us to be recognized by YouTube's algorithm a little bit better. We need the exposure. We're still unknown. As much as we have helped thousands around the world, and we get amazing reviews and thank yous, appreciations, have made life-changing effects. Have had life-changing effects on people's lives, but we're still invisible. We only have 16,000 subscribers, and with your own testimonies that the kind of quality and contents that we have, we should have 1 million subscribers, but we are not visible. Also, you liking the videos that you like, that you watch, making comments, sharing them on your social media, it will help us to get more exposed, our channel get more exposed. And I appreciate that. We need that. SA stands for I don't know what. It says, hi dear Mehran. Hello SA. Slang like a car, Mercedes-Benz, SL. Male, Canada, 30. Oh, another Canadian. Oh my goodness. We are taking on the world. Finally, Canadians are noticing our channel. Male, Canada, 30. How does one successfully quit an addiction? I'm trying to quit smoking after many years. I feel good, but sometimes grumpy from quitting and scared it will affect my relationship. How can I manage this? Well, you're focusing on the pleasure of what you've been addicted to. And as long as you focus on the pleasure you receive from something, whatever it is, you won't be able to know that thing, what that thing is, what it does, its effects on you, and then decide if it's positive or negative, if you should have anything to do with it or not. Why? Because you are not focusing your radar on the ingredients that this thing is made out of and the differences that it's going to make into your body, into your health. You're focused on the, oh, so good. I feel good. I feel calm. I feel nonsense. You're totally focused on the pleasure. It's like anything else. You focus on the pleasure of intimacy you get from your your girlfriend, and you're not focusing on how she's put together, what her consciousness is, what her values are, what her hygiene is. Nothing of that sort. You're just focusing on the pleasure. It's like a food. You're focusing on the taste. How tasty, but you have no idea if the quality is good, if it's a spoil, is it going to make you sick, what kind of ingredients is it in it, is it toxic, is stuff, bad stuff and old stuff, stale stuff is in it, is it full of bacteria, the quality of it, you didn't read on it, the date of it, none of that. You're just focusing on taste. So that will not help you to stop eating that thing, to stop that whatever gives you pleasure, to stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking or drugs or whatever else it is that you're considering it hard to stop. Focus on what the hell this does, and then see what is the most important thing in this life. What is the most important thing in this life for you, in your mind? It's you, the me, and you are allowing something else to destroy this, the me, because it gives you pleasure. So for the sake of pleasure, you're willing to give away your life. What the one thing that has made everything else possible for you. Even the fact that you take pleasure from this damn smoking thing is because you're alive. Is because you're here. Because of you, the me, is the reason that everything else around you happens, including your bad habits. So you have to understand the importance of this, that you're risking this for getting that pleasure. And then you will realize the most important thing that makes everything else possible for me, including my bad habits, I'm actually letting it die, letting it be harmed, and making it dependent on things out there that they don't have any life. But I'm allowing them to control my life, which is the reason that everything else makes sense to me. So your protection must be for this, number one, in front of all these things that so-called pleasure and makes you feel good, but it's not good for you. As I said before, not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. And you must make sure that nothing in this life comes before or more important than what it actually makes all those things to come to reality, to be important, which is you. So you protect this first. If you understand the relationship between a cigarette and you, your health, then you see the hell with that. I want to be free. I want to be the commander of my life. Not the damn cigarette, not the pleasure that I get from the cigarette. I don't let pleasure to dictate to me what I can or cannot do, what I can or cannot feel. So you're letting pleasure after smoking fulfill your desire, and the desire becomes your boss. So you're no longer you in command. You're just a figurehead. You're just a zombie. So pleasure fulfills desire, desire makes you zombie. So you must remember, ego is your servant. Desire is your servant. Fear, you are the fear. You create fear. And we've talked about these things before. When you understand all these things, then you understand you must continue being the boss of all these things that play a role in your life. Pleasure, desire, ego, fear, thought, consciousness. Get beyond that. That would be the beginning. Buy back your freedom. Now, Ra says, 3 years ago I started to do raw vegan. So that's why I love to be called that way on my channel. Oh, I see now. Very good. Very good. Well, I stopped eating meat about 2-3 months ago, and I increased my exercise level, and I feel it's very good. And a few nights ago, somehow I dreamt that I'm having korma sabzi with meat in it, which is a Persian dish for the ones who don't know. And I panicked. I said, "What? I had meat? I didn't want to have meat. I'm doing good." So, I don't know if that means I wanted it or because I just had an idea or saw the picture of it somewhere. And anyhow, it wasn't a good good feeling that I had that in my dream. So good. So that's where the story Ra comes. I thought it's for Rahele or something. Very good. Thank you for letting me know that. Lord Simon says, I'm so afraid to approach with a new girl. Well, you're not afraid of the girl. You're afraid of being able to fulfill your desire and lead it to pleasure. You're so needy for pleasure. You have to understand pleasure is not your boss. You're the boss. So you meet a girl and you're afraid of being rejected, and not afraid that you will not have her. You're afraid of the feeling that the rejection brings, because all through your life you've been conditioned to be better than everybody else, to be more. That's why you've always been compared by your mom about siblings, or the uncle or aunt's son or daughter, by your teachers in the classroom, and so on and so is, has got such a nice pencil or got a better grade, with the whole idea of being a man that you want to be the top dog, and in your opinion, you must be better in everything than anybody else, because that has anything to do with your manhood, you think. So you want to constantly prove that to yourself. There's no need for you to prove that you're a man. You are a man. You figured it out. However it is that you feel, that's how you are. It doesn't mean that you have to now prove it to yourself. And therefore, you're afraid of rejection because you think rejection by a girl could mean that I'm not good enough. And I've been conditioned to always to be more. I've always been compared that I'm not good enough. And now I'm afraid of that. So that's what you're afraid of. Not the girl to say no to you. Oh, big deal. Open your eyes. There are millions of other girls out there. So you wouldn't really be scared of her. You're scared of not attaining the pleasure that you want to receive through a relationship with her. That's what you're afraid of. The pleasure I want. And she's the source, a source of it, not the source of it, a source of it. So I don't want to be rejected by a source of pleasure because pleasure is everything to me. Because your whole life is based on pleasure. All of our lives is based on pleasure. And if you understand that you still should be the boss, not the pleasure, you still should be choosing pleasure, not the pleasure ruling you and choosing you, then you'll be okay if she rejects you because you say, no problems. There are other sources that I can go to. Because it's not the girl that you're afraid to be rejected, it's the pleasure that you're afraid to be rejected. You think the girl is not a girl, is pleasure. You look at her as the source of pleasure. But you should look at her as a human being, as a person, that you gotta qualify her. See if she meets your standards, if she is qualified to receive your attention. You don't. You only focus on one thing that she can give you, which is pleasure, and your whole life is based on pleasure. Then you think pleasure is everything. And the one that can give you pleasure suddenly becomes more important to you than she is. She suddenly becomes smart in everything that she does. Because you're not really getting to know her. You don't even know her. You just know what she can represent, which is a way for you, a pathway for you to arrive to pleasure, which your whole base, your life is based on. So, if you understand that, then you won't be afraid to meet new girls. They represent what? Find out their personality, their consciousness, who they are, what they think. If they meet your qualification, your standards, then you're no longer scared of them because you haven't already, before even knowing anything about them, you haven't given them that pedestal, that echelon of greatness. Because you do that because you want pleasure from them. So suddenly, in your eyes, they're great. But they're not. Get to know them. They're human beings. And then decide if you want to pay attention to them or not. Not right off the bat, because you're only thinking of them as a source of pleasure. All right. Bobby says 38, male UK. It's been 2 years since my breakup and 1 since my divorce. So you broke up with your wife 2 years ago, and then 1 year later you guys were finalized the divorce. Went through hell and back, then went through hell back then, but have moved forward. All right, is there any other choice? Why you guys kind of think that that is something, an amazing thing to do? That's the only thing one should do, and it's the simplest thing. You break up, you move on, you go forward. There's no backward going. Yeah, you must go forward. That's the natural thing. So that should make it easy by thinking that that's the natural thing, not a hard thing, the only thing, the best thing. But have moved forward. I still carry a deep pain, and it hurts to see my ex with another man who is now living with her and my son. Yes, that's not a pleasant feeling. That is contrary to everything that you imagined a marriage, a responsible marriage, should be. But your focus right now should be on your son. Your focus right now should be communicating and bonding with your son. Spend as much time as you can with him. Be a father. Be a loving father. Focus on his life. I don't know if you thought this through, hopefully you got joint custody and you can communicate with your ex-wife for the benefit of the child. Make sure your policies and your behaviors are coordinated in order to bring about a loving environment for your child to grow strong psychologically and not feel threatened. Make sure that guy, whoever he is that she's living with, is knowing that you are around. And he would have to behave in every single way, including the way he talks to your son. He is not your son's father. And you make sure in a cordial way that your wife, your ex-wife, understands that. And you use any limits of law if you have to enforce that. The child must grow up with love, security, and knowing that he has his father back him up with positive influence, not to make him able to use the situation and push you and your ex against each other and, you know, get more toys or more favors. With love, a balanced relationship with your son, a good balanced communication with your ex-wife, help her to understand. If she doesn't, maybe she does, it is imperative that she would make a safe home for the child. It is her choice to separate from you. That doesn't mean the child's choice is the same as hers. She is her boyfriend and important to her. She has to understand that man is not important to the child, and don't force it upon him. You discuss these with your wife, ex-wife. Make her, help her to understand. If she doesn't, for the good of the child, and be the best father that you can be. Provide for him. Make sure you make money and help your ex-wife with money if she needs some to take care of your child. And let the child know that you're there. You provide money as well as protection. Attend all the school events or necessities. Not that the boyfriend should end up there handling anything and creating certain kind of an echelon for himself. These are important in the child's mind. Until, you know, their child is big enough, old enough to figure things out and be able to handle things, and make sure your wife understands her relationship with other people, other men, is different than the child's relationship. Therefore, she should be very discreet on her relationship with that guy, and don't pretend that that guy is the child's father. Ask her to observe that, because she may not see it, but that could create difficulty in the child's mind later. And tell her, if she doesn't attend to these matters, the child will resent her and possibly hate her when he grows up. If she wants to have a good relationship with her child when he grows up and becomes a man, she must think of it now. Be fair, cordial, respectful to the child. Do not bring other men as portraying as his father or creating some kind of a authority figure for him. She should make sure that the child knows that there's a mother and there's a father. That's it. The rest are just whatever it is between you know, the mother and her life, and the father and his choices of other girlfriends. And you too Don't bring another girlfriend in front of your son when he spends time with you. Always speak good about his mother in front of him, and he will know the difference. Don't have to plant anything in his mind. He's smart. He can see things. You just be good to him. Focus on him. Don't badmouth his mother. You just be helpful. The child will see. All right. Focus on your life. Have a personal life. Find a suitable girlfriend. Focus on making money, and be the best father you can. That's it. The rest of it, you don't give a shit what she does. She's lost her chance. She decided, for whatever reason, she doesn't want to be with you. Okay, fine, good, no problem. But be nice to her. The mother of your child. Helpful. Be helpful. That's it. People will bow to kindness, to love. Don't be a doormat, but just be fair. Be kind. Don't take, think about taking revenge. You're angry, you might be, that's okay. But that will dissipate. One of the two, or both. But the kindness will show your strength. All right? You haven't lost any power. You're still the boss of yourself and the boss of your son. Along with the mother's help, you both will manage a good life, a secure life for him. Help your wife to be on the same page with you as far as the child is concerned. That's the most important thing. Not you and not her. Him, the little one. All right. Let's go to Lord Simon. Ah, there you go. Says, I'm afraid to be rejected. I'm starting to know her and we are good friends, I think. Well, then what are you afraid of? Don't be a wuss. Just be yourself. Don't be there to lure her or to, lasso her. Just be a friend and be yourself, and don't be a wuss. If she didn't want to be with you, it's not a rejection. It's not a reflection on you. You're still you. It's a reflection on her level of understanding, her lack of high expectations. That's why she didn't accept you. If she doesn't, it's because she doesn't have the understanding of high quality person, because that's how you should think of yourself and be that way, not just illusion. And then that's her problem. You go on and find better suitable candidate. Simple, not a big deal. It's not the only oasis in life, and if it's not an oasis for you, then it's not an oasis at all. So if someone rejects you, that doesn't mean something good rejected you. The fact that she rejected you, that means she's not qualified. And if something that is not qualified, then why should it be so important? Why should it matter to reject you? It's not qualified because he rejected you. Therefore, if it's not qualified, what matters if an unqualified thing rejects you? See, it's a vicious, it's a circle that is connected. She's not qualified because she rejected you. And because she's not qualified because she rejected you, then it's not important someone who's not qualified rejecting you. So that rejection is worthless. Shouldn't bother you. If you're confused enough, good. If not, stick around. All right. Sarah L says, hey Mehran, hey Sarah, what do you think of ghosting each other? What? You and I? we hardly know each other. What are you talking about? Okay, what do I think if two people ghost each other? That's what you mean, I'm sure. Sometimes you have to. If someone is sticky or doesn't get the hint, or you're not interested and you don't want to break their hearts either, maybe you don't have a real good reason that, you know, you don't want to be with them other than the fact that you don't want to be with them, you may do that. If you're not close enough, if you're not in a relationship, it's just somebody that you don't want to socialize with, associate with, you ghost them, okay. No big deal, you ghost them. But if you're in a relationship, you don't ghost them, you just talk it over and say, listen, it's not working out. No, then it doesn't hurt them, or it doesn't make them feel kind of. But if you don't know someone and you don't want to be, you know, you ghost them, of course. You know, it's someone that, let's say it's on your Facebook, or someone that you hardly see or you have no really thing in common, but he or she keeps, you know, want to be friend or something. You just do your own thing, focus on your own things. It's like ghosting. But not if you're in a relationship with someone. If you're a friend with someone and you don't want to, you know, if there's special, some kind of a relationship, you just fade them away. If it's not a relationship. If it's a relationship, you talk about it, and then you separate. All right. Majid says, "Bam, salam, salam, Majid, hello." Ayushman says, sir, your videos have helped me so much. Your voice calms us. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. P.S. he says, sir, I didn't get notification about you being live. Then how did you find out? Have you clicked on the bell and chosen always or all the time instead of sometimes, or what is it? What's the, I think it says occasionally. Don't choose occasionally. Choose all the time or always, or the other, you know, choice. Johnny B. Good says, I feel like I will not find another that I connect with as much as I did with her. Johnny, remember, you're supposed to let me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are. Otherwise, I keep forgetting. Just remind me for every question. So he says, I feel like I will not find another that I can connect with as much as I did with her. Well, that's baloney. Because how do you know? Did you know that you will connect so well with this one before you met her? No, you didn't. So if somebody would have asked you before you met this one, you would say, I'm not sure if I will ever meet someone that I can connect with. But you did. So that means at a given time, you don't know what is on its way towards you. And based on what is visible in the field of your vision, you make decisions. But it cannot, because knowledge is always limited. And that goes hand in hand with ignorance. So how can you really say with confidence about something that you have not enough knowledge? It's like standing in front of the ocean and you see, wow, a vast ocean, and there's nothing in it. Nothing you see, no ships. Then you conclude there are no ships in the ocean. Baloney. There are no ships in the part of the ocean that is within the field of your vision, your field of vision. That's all. There could be many ships way out where you cannot see. They're on their way towards you, yet they have not arrived to the limits of your field of vision. Therefore, you have incomplete knowledge of the status of that ocean. What's in it? What's coming towards you? So, as life unfolds, they are continuing their journey, they get closer enough, and you become in the same time and space. And you can see things that you couldn't see before. So therefore, they existed when it wasn't in existence for you. Therefore, don't make such a statement that, I don't think I can meet another girl that I can. Why? How? How do you say that? Have you seen all the girls out? All the women that could be interested in you? Have you compared all that and had relationship with them and figured out that, oh yeah, none of them can be this? Well, that I can understand. But if you haven't, then you know the rest of this story. Don't assume, presume, or conclude when you have not enough information. That just shoots you in your own foot. Not good. Even though during the relationship towards the end, I realized how different we were in many areas and wanted to move on, but was afraid of the breakup which I'm experiencing now. Why do I regret what I know is best for me? Well, because there was an element of pleasure, psychological security, a certain order had been created, the way you guys were doing things and you were doing things, a certain kind of memory, and you were seeking refuge in your memory, feeling everything is known. The field of the known was created in that relationship, and therefore there was not much surprises, and you didn't want to get out of that comfort zone. Otherwise, there's so many other women out there that you can hit it off and you can get to know and find you know, compatibility and so on. Life is not limited to one relationship or one woman. There's so many other possibilities out there, and that goes the other way around too. You know, for women, life is not limited to one man or one relationship. There's so many other things, and don't be afraid of it, you know. And you don't know what the future holds. It hasn't arrived for you to see its actuality. It's an illusion, and you can think of it both ways. Because you don't know anything about what's about to come, what your future holds, then you can go both ways. You can say, I don't think I will meet anybody, because you don't know it, you're saying that, because it's not in front of you. But you can also say, I'm sure I will meet somebody that I will connect more and better than this one. Why wouldn't you go this way? Because the mind is always afraid to feel positive, to think positive. They think it's a sin. If I'm positive, that means I'm too sure of myself. If I'm too sure of myself, that's bad. Why? You're afraid to feel positive. Don't be. You don't think, you choose this way because people, human beings, believe something if they can see it or if they know about it. Because you can't see the girls lining up to get to know you, you can't see that, it's not happening. And you don't know about the future, nobody has come, a source that you believe in it and trust it to tell you and convince you that this will happen. So you don't know it and you can't see it, therefore you don't believe it. Therefore you conclude there's going to be none. But yet you set all that conclusion, all that decision from non-existing facts. You created those facts. From lack of knowledge you came to that conclusion. So why don't you, from lack of knowledge, you come to a positive conclusion that I'm sure that I will. It's the same basis on the same amount of knowledge and information, or lack of it, that you made your other conclusions. I don't think I will ever meet. On what basis? You don't see it and you don't know of it. Same thing. And this, but that is not good enough reason, just because you don't see it or you don't know of it, to think that it won't happen. Well, how often in life have you noticed that you didn't see anything and you didn't know about it, but things did happen? For example, before aircraft was born, nobody knew that there could be something like aircraft and passenger aircrafts, but it came to be, right? Many things in life that you don't know, you didn't see it, and you didn't know that it could happen, but it did. So what about that? Same thing here. Just because you don't see it or you don't know that it will happen, it doesn't mean it won't happen, but you conclude that it won't. Get beyond that. Understand why you say what you say, then refute it and go on with the positive thinking and giving future happenings and the realities a chance, as that is factual, just as the ship's example that I told you about the ocean and your field of vision. All right. El Haj says, hello sir, I'm 23 from Minnesota. Oops, I lost everybody here. Gee. Wow, we got lots of questions. I don't know which one to answer now. El Haj says, okay, I found it. Hello sir, I'm 23 from Minnesota. I have a bad habit of looking at myself in the mirror a lot, especially when I smoke marijuana. Why would you want to look at yourself when you smoke marijuana? Like, Maybe you should be an actor. Especially when I smoke marijuana. Why I do this? And how to stop this bad habit? You probably want to see how cool you look, or if you look cool, and pretty much, perhaps, you actually are not sure that you should be doing this, which is a good sign. And you're checking out in the mirror how it looks when I do it. And is it going to be a power pose? Is it going to help me to catch girls? How do I look when I'm doing this in the eyes of the girls who are looking at me, or in the eyes of the other people who are looking at me because I want to look important, I want to look cool? Instead of bringing that coolness and importance from inside you, from your center, the way that you see, negotiate life, the way you have educated yourself about yourself, how you're put together, how you function, the role of your thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, ego, pleasure in your life, how they affect you and make you feel, act, and react the way you do. Instead of focusing on that making you cool and knowledgeable and confident, you're focusing on your physical appearance in a certain way, no different than having your nice clothes on and checking yourself out and thinking that's all you're made of. If you think a physical entity of your portion of your entity, the physical portion of your entity is actually what gives you that coolness or that abilities and capabilities and confidence, then you will keep doing it. And the day that you will not have a good clothing on, and the day that you don't have that shit that you're smoking, then suddenly you think you're not good enough. Then you become dependent on things to feel confident about yourself, versus feeling confident by nature, by believing how you're put together and what makes you so strong, so special, so confident. So understand the silliness of it beyond the fun part that you do, and maybe you make fun of it, that's okay. But if it really gets serious to think that you gotta do this, then you should free yourself from that. Guess what? Just stop doing it for a while and see what happens. If you're superstitious, or you think you have an OCD that you got to keep looking at yourself in your mirror, otherwise something bad will happen. Maybe that's your what is it? Your state of mind. Just don't do it for a while. See what happens. You'll see nothing happens. Nothing ordinary, extraordinary. Then you will learn that it's okay not to do it. And then condition yourself in that. You've conditioned yourself to do it by having kept doing it. Now, recondition yourself for not doing it by keep not doing it. Every time you remember doing it, purposely say, no, I'm not going to do it, because I tend to encourage myself to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Every time they remember yourself, you think you got to do it, that's reminding you not to do it. So go against it, and you will be eventually reconditioning yourself not to do it. I don't know the reasons that you're doing it unless you speak to me further about it. Maybe you can make an appointment with me on my channel. Remember, guys, I'm just one Skype call away if you have an issue that is really something that you want to speak with me one-on-one, because we can't get to answer all the questions here all the time. So you go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Me for consultation, and pick up a package, and up to 1 hour I will double it. So if it's 30 minutes, I'll give you an hour. If it's a 1 hour appointment, I'll give you 2 hours. Then we can hash out and explore together what is concerning you. So let's go on with Roman G says, I'm on time. Oh yes, you are. Yes, good afternoon, Mehran. Good afternoon, Roman. Mehran Agha. Okay, thank you, dear. Our master of wisdom and positive. Thank you very much, dear. Very kind of you. Roman, male, 31, from Israel. Welcome. Sarah says, I find it hard to move on. Opinion, well, you know, many things in life is hard. Does it mean if it's hard, we should give it up? It was hard to be born, but you didn't give up then. It was all through some small canal, and your mom was pushing the hell out of it, and you were going through all kinds of emotions, but you didn't give up, did you? Nothing really could be, I mean, most things will not be as hard as that. And growing up, being a child, not knowing what's happening, everybody's telling you what to do, what not to do, and you had no freedom or control on your own understanding and your own vision of how things should be, and making decisions and being in control of your own life. But that was tough. You went through elementary school and, you know, kindergarten, elementary school, high school, and university or whatever, and then you constantly start learning how to make tough things happen for you and managing them. So same thing here. Hard to move on, so what? Who said it's going to be easy? It's filled with emotions and all kind of memories and so on, which we have talked about it in over 1,200 videos that we have on this channel. If you just go on my search engine and type in something that you feel, there's bound to be a video about it. And if you don't know what kind of a title you want to use to search for it, go on my playlist. There's about 65 playlists, and you simply can choose the playlist that you think is appropriate. And soon I will have those two packages that I told you about. There'll be one package which starts with about 60 videos, star videos, that helps you to understand your situation after breakup and move on. And that's like going to be something for you to subscribe to. It's like $58 for 1 year. You will know which videos to watch instead of which videos out of these 1,200 should I watch. You'll be confused. You don't know which one to watch first, which one's going to help you. You're confused, you're devastated, you don't have time to figure things out. So I've made it easy for you. There'll be a package called the Ultimate, Breakup Cure, and it's a limited package because, in other words, means there's like 60 or somewhat chosen videos in there, and you pay $58, and you can have access to it for a year to help you to know which videos will be the ones first in line for you to watch for. And there's going to be another package that'll be starting with about 80 videos, but that's going to be unlimited package, meaning you pay for it once, about $108 or something. You pay for it once, but every time that there's going to be another star video that I recognize or I make, that will be also available on that same package. It will be added. You wouldn't have to do anything or pay for it. Every time you access that package, there'll be more videos in there for you. Plus, it will include all my 3 ebooks. That amount, $108, will pay for the ongoing inventory and library of star videos that will help you to move on and help you out, and will be added to as I make new ones and find the star videos. I add it to that package, plus all the ebooks that I have on sale on my site included in that. So I think that would be something that helps everybody, rather than having to know which one of these 1,300 movies, videos you should watch, and which one is pertaining your situation, which one is for moving on and all that, so forth. So I think that will be helpful. Until then, just hang in there, guys. It will be a couple of months before that is done. I got to find the right programmers in town to do it with the right price, because as you know, we are not rich. So, all right. Sandy says, hello, Mehran. It's good to see you here again. Hello, Sandy. Yes, we got it fixed up and we're back online. Actually, it was my own problem. I think it was I don't know how this privacy setting had magically changed it to unlisted. That's why nobody could find me. I noticed it just last time, and the poor YouTube people have been trying to help and have been so helpful, but they were trying, but I noticed, oh my goodness, this is what unlisted. Why is it unlisted? So I put it on public and everybody started coming through. But for that reason, for 3 weeks, we didn't have any live talks on YouTube, and I did a few on my Facebook page. I hope you have all signed in with my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth Author. There are 2 of them, Mind That Seeks Truth Author and Mind That Seeks Truth Books. They're both mine, but the author one has about 17,000 likes, so we are trying to promote the Facebook page as well. So you'll be in touch, and there'll be posts there, and encouraging posts, positive posts, and videos that I would post there. I'll select and post it there. So you might want to make sure you like the page and be notified when there are things going on there. Jordan says, hey, I'm 26 from Scotland. So that reminds me of Star Trek. Scotty, beam me up. So Scotland, I've heard a lot about it. In fact, just a few nights ago, I was watching this movie called The Outlaw King. It was, I think, a story about Scotland's efforts to regain its kingdom from England at the time. King Edward simply took over Scotland when they asked his assistant an opinion to choose an heir for Scotland when the king had died, and he simply came and took it over rather than helping to choose the right heir. And then, of course, the whole thing started, and then one of the influential people of Scotland, I think Wallace, I believe was his name, tried to regain the kingdom back. So it was an interesting movie. I enjoyed it. I think that was made from a true story. I don't know. I think it was a true story. Anyhow, I think. I'm not sure of that. 26 from Scotland, and I'm trying to keep busy. All right. Recently got dumped by my ex. Don't ever call that. Don't ever call yourself dumped. When you do that, when you think, you believe it because it came from you and you're a credible person in your own mind. Therefore, you actually think that you were dumped, which means you think you're lower, and that puts you at a disadvantage. You shouldn't. You simply should think, I'm a spaghetti, and this person was dumb enough not like spaghetti because everybody else likes it. And it doesn't make a change to spaghetti if somebody says, I don't like spaghetti. Well, what does that mean? It's a reflection on him or her. Doesn't like spaghetti. But the spaghetti is still delicious, nutritious, and it's popular, and it is what it is with all the taste and goodness in it. So you don't like spaghetti, that doesn't make the spaghetti change or become bad or bad tasting. It just makes you be a person who doesn't like spaghetti. The same thing here. Somebody breaks up with you, well, that means that person doesn't appreciate that taste of that relationship. Doesn't make that person in the relationship you any less or different. Their opinion of your girlfriend or taste or choices of selection of your girlfriend doesn't have any reflection on you, doesn't change you. It just tells you what they are having gravitation towards and choose or not. Just tells you something about them. That's all. So please stop, you guys, calling things like this negative words about when you break up with your ex. It's not good. And by my ex, and I have been wanting answers to why she won't want me back, even though she knows I've turned things around. Who gives a shit she wants you back? Why do you think she should want you? Why do you think she's important? Why should you? The question is, why should you want her? Why should you want a woman who doesn't want you? That's a disqualifier. You should only want a woman who wants you. If a woman doesn't want you or did want you and no longer wants you, that disqualifies her. Simple. Your attention and love and your kindness and who you are can only be focused on, offered to someone who wants it. Do not sell yourself short. If she doesn't, respect her opinion, says, okay, I wish you well, goodbye. That's all. But why should you want someone who doesn't want you? It doesn't make sense. Why? Because you're only thinking about the pleasure you will receive. Otherwise, what does she have that you could want? What could anyone who doesn't want you, doesn't pay attention to you enough as she should, what does such a person have that attracts you to want her? Why? It's about your own conditioning, thinking that you're not good enough. It's a psychological thing. It doesn't mean that she's so high and mighty and of some high quality. It just means your psychological conditioning thinks a person who rejects you is a person to pursue, because that would make you feel you're good enough and you're valuable, because you've been conditioned all through your life that you're not good enough with this and that compared, and you've always been trying to be more and prove yourself that you are good. And these sort of things like this triggers you, making you think that you're not good enough. Now, to be good enough, I have to get her back. Why? Why would you want to get somebody back who has expressed her unwillingness or, lack of appreciation for you? Why? That should be a deal breaker. You must choose and say, that person no longer qualified. Why? She didn't want me. Therefore, I don't want her. That's it. She can't get my attention. That's how you should deal with things. But, at age 26, you think, oh, gee, my value and worth comes from the opinion of some girl. What has she done in her life that she is so precise on her, or affects you with her choices, and makes you feel your value or not? What has she accomplished? Huh? What? Cure the common cold? Help all the children who are suffering in the world? Help and feed the needy and the elderly? What has she done to make a difference in the world that suddenly she's that high and mighty that you must be following and hoping to get her to regain your self-esteem, your worth? What does she have to do with all that? With your worth? You have to do. You become valuable with the contributions you make to your society, things you accomplish in life, things you learn, things you deal with, how you manage life and how you negotiate life. That's what it is all about your values. Not about some woman wants to be with you or not, and vice versa. So, chew on that for a while, Jordan, and don't sell yourself short. You're bigger than that. You must expect more from you than trying to establish your value through convincing someone to be with you. What? Her physical existence and touch in your life gives you value? If that was the case, why doesn't she touch a rock and make it gold? It's not her that gives value to things. It is your mentality that takes value away from you or gives value to you, plus how you deal with your society, community, accomplish and affect them positively and accomplish your goals and achieve goals. That's what it's all about. There's so many other women out there. Leave her. She doesn't want you. Good for her. Good for you maybe. Because that's an opportunity for you now to focus on more compatible friends and get to know them, and then you will find happier relationships when they are more suitable. There's so many more qualified women out there, but you have limited everything to what is visible in your field of vision again, and you think that's all there is. No, move on. You don't have to prove anything to her. Okay, now Jesus says, hi, I'm 21 from Spain. I'm getting over a breakup and I see a little progress. But recently I have seen my ex around a couple of times, and this has pushed me back again. Well, again, it's all in your mind. Nothing has changed. You're the same person, and whether she's with you or not, that doesn't make any difference to you. What makes a difference to you is what you accomplish in the world, what kind of life you build, what kind of business or job you create for yourself, what kind of money you make, what kind of life, what kind of understanding, what you learn, what you accomplish, how you treat others, what kind of role model you are for the society. That's what makes it or breaks it. Not she's with me. Who is she that being with you make you great? Is she great? What has she done to be great? Nothing. You're only focusing on pleasure, intimacy, sex. That's what the whole life is based around, and you should be able to control your life based on your thoughts and consciousness, quality and accomplishments in life, learning and experiencing, rather than attaining pleasure that you think is going to make your life something special. No. Pleasure is just a momentary feeling of something that you enjoy. But you cannot build a life on pleasure. You can't. It's just something that makes you feel good. And not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. Be focused on that. Be focused on that. Not, I don't know, how did that come about? I must be hungry thinking about, I don't know, fruits. Guava. All right. We're going as fast as we can. Please, guys, if you have forgotten, please click on the like. We need the algorithm to recognize us. Getting back to our questions, Foil Grim Timmy. All right, I'll call you Timmy. Male, 35 US. She walked out of a 5-year relationship. Yeah, they do. They walk out a 25-year relationship. Who gives a shit? You got to focus on what it is now. What you will do now. You got your freedom, and you can build better, bigger. Don't think what you built was the best thing. Always think you can do better. So a relationship is the same. If you broke up, well, don't think that, oh, it was 5-year relationship. No, it was 5-year relationship that it broke. That means it wasn't a good relationship. Because if you were building something in that 5 years, it wouldn't break now. That means 5 years kind of wasted. So you look at that way, it doesn't look that bad. It's a blessing. And he says, I feel burnt out with relationships and dread the same thing happening again. Yeah, well, you know, the reason is that you think a relationship is absolute. Because you think you live in an absolute universe. We all live in a relative world. Everything is ups and down, right and left, bright and dark, up and down. You can't expect things to be solid and the same, absolute. And when you get in a relationship, you think that this relationship must, and only way for it to be called successful is if it lasts forever. It can't, because it's based on the consciousness of the person, not the stability of the look and physical appearance of a person. The physical appearance is hardly you notice the changes unless it's a long time passes and you can see the wrinkles and things that changes in everyone's body. But what really is in changing every day, while you can't see the changes in the physical appearance so easily, what's changing every day and every moment is in consciousness. And that consciousness is what causes a relationship eventually. The difference between consciousness, conflicts and divisions is what makes the relationship break down after a while, short while, long while, a very long while. But it can break, not because there's something wrong with you, not because something went wrong and you're not good enough. It's because the consciousness of the other person is evolving, is changing to worse or to good, or whatever changes it's taking and interpreting those changes, and makes different composure, different music in there. And that music is what makes that person dance to that tune. The consciousness changes, the ingredients of the consciousness, the information in the consciousness, the reflection of the things that bouncing off this consciousness of hers, however it's been put together, makes changes, modifications to that consciousness. And that consciousness that is being modified every day, and you're not knowledgeable about it, and it's happening to everybody, eventually gets enough changes that shows that she doesn't appreciate that relationship, that connection that has been going on for the past 5 years, 10 years anymore. And that's okay. So that is not a reflection on you. That does not mean that this person, this woman has changed her mind, doesn't want you now. There's something went wrong with you, or you're diminished in value of any kind, any sort. No, it just means the changes that was not visible were happening now. It's at the point that she thinks that's what she should do. Okay, no big deal. So it's part of life. but you expect it to be the same. That's why you're tired, don't want to go through this relationship thing again, because you expect a relationship to be forever. No relationship is forever. Pretty much none. Anomalies here and there. So if you expect the relationship to begin with, if you don't expect it to be an absolute, then you'll be fine. Because if it does someday breaks down, you say, okay, that's part of the evolution of life, and part of evolution in that consciousness. And that by evolution I don't mean that it's now more advanced, that it doesn't want you. No, it just changes. Some things evolve into better, something evolves into shittier. You know, it's like food sitting there, it evolves into more bacteria. It's not like the longer it changes, it's evolution. It's an evolution, but it turns into safe, palatable, delicious, nutritious. Over time, if it's out there, not preserved well, not properly groomed or whatever, it turns into shit. So that doesn't mean that evolution, every evolution is a positive evolution. It could be a negative evolution. It's an evolution. It's a change. And that change is in that person. Doesn't mean that you are diminished in any way. In your character, in your qualities, unless you become an asshole, which that is the changes that have been happening to you and you weren't aware of it and you didn't take care of it. But I don't think that's the case here. So you should be okay with it, and you should be okay with any new relationship that you go in, and don't expect it to be forever. And it's a relationship. So you'll enjoy it as long as it lasts, and if it doesn't work, then you wish each other well and you move on to the next. You don't give up on your job. It's every day the same. Same money every month. I'm tired of it. I don't want it. You don't say that, because you understand the necessity of it, and you understand the changing effects that it has on your life, and you can understand ups and downs of it. Some businesses, some months is good, some months is not good, up and down, up and down. More money, less money, more trouble, less trouble, all these things, yeah? But you're okay with that. But when it comes to a relationship, why? Because you won't get that constant pleasure they expect from it, and your expectations your expectations are expecting everything to be status quo. No surprises. That doesn't. Other things is not free of surprises. So what do you expect relationship to be? So if you accept that, then you'll be okay with it. You don't go into the relationship with the idea of, oh, it's going to last forever and I can really rely on it. No, you don't. You just enjoy it as long as it lasts. And if it doesn't, it's no reflection on you. If you've been a decent, good guy, it doesn't mean anything bad is about you. Nothing has changed or diminished from you. It's just the way it is, because it's about consciousnesses, and the consciousnesses are changing constantly. Hope that would be of some meaning to you. Timmy. Lord Simon says, no, it's another girl. Now I lost it. I don't know what that was. Lord Simon. Gary Martin, great to hear from you again, sir. Gary, 55 UK. Oh, hello, Gary. Good to see you here. Curtis says, great advice. Thank you. I don't know which one it was. I've been talking for the past, what is it, an hour and a half? So I don't know. But thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. And here it says, hello, I'm a female, 32, never married, no children. I was engaged to be married, but I called it off. I'm terribly afraid of divorce. All I read about is divorce and how much it fucks up people's lives. So for that reason, you don't want to even try it. Well, did anybody give you a guarantee that when you're born in life, everything is going to go well? And how has that worked out for you? Has it all gone exactly as you expected it? No, you didn't. But you didn't stop trying. You didn't stop enjoying. You didn't stop, experiencing it. But why is it that suddenly in relationship you don't want to try because you expect it to be all free of challenges, free of ups and downs, free of turbulence. There is nothing free of turbulence in this life. So, yeah, if you don't want to get married, don't get married. But, you know, you can still be with someone if you like. Otherwise, you're just escaping from something that you actually find certain kind of a merits and pleasure into it, which is important for balance. So maybe you don't want to get married, don't get married. But if you, you know, keep being afraid of a relationship, that's not good either. It's kind of, you need that balance. There's so many wonderful things in this world that you can experience, but one of it is an experience of relationship. So don't cut that all out just because you don't like to see the results. And the reasons that all these divorces are happening, why? We've talked about it in different videos. Because we are our consciousness, and the consciousnesses are different. We choose our mates or, you know, partners, and based on their physical attributes, beauty, sexuality, intimacy, and you know, or, you know, girls may consider the same, plus money and education, success. You're not focusing on who the person is. You're focusing on what the person can do, what the person has, how the person looks like. And you cannot build a relationship on looks, on money, on possession, on education of theirs. These are not what you can build a relationship. Build a relationship on understanding each other's consciousness, finding things in common, compatibility, communication. But yet, the selection is based on possession, money, beauty, you know, sexuality, fun, none of which you can actually build a relationship on, but it is based on your choices and selection of that candidate for the relationship. Guess what? It's like trying to, you know, erect a building and expect it to, the high rise, to keep its shape, but you're using the material that is actually like, you know, I don't know, sawdust or straws. It won't. So you gotta have the right material, right ingredients to keep a structure solid and functional. So anyhow, and she says, how do I get over my fear of divorce? Please help me, please. Well, that's what I just mentioned. Divorce, you're afraid of it because you think a relationship is absolute, is forever. A relationship, to you, you've conditioned yourself to think a relationship means forever. Why? How? The ingredients of this relationship are changing all the time. So how could their promise and their bond and their compatibility stay the same all the time, the same strength? No, they're changing, evolving all the time. The events of life that bounces off of each one of them is going to bounce differently based on the field, this trampoline, this weave of the surface of their consciousness, what material is this surface is weaved by. So whatever bounces off of it has a different velocity, a different reaction, different angle of return, a different way of affecting that consciousness versus this other consciousness, which they're the partner of each other. So while they're going through life, events are affecting them, bouncing off of them differently, which creates a different imprint and makes different changes in their consciousness. So their consciousness is evolving, and eventually to a point gets that these two will have more conflicts and divisions between the two consciousnesses, more than when they started being in a relationship. And then the divorce can happen. So this is a natural process. Unless when you guys get together or get married, you become suddenly incapable of learning anything or processing anything or interacting with anything. You turn into that level and never change or modify or get more or learn or process or experience anything else. then you stay in the same level. You'll always be in love, possibly, or settle with each other, because you would have no expectations, because you will make no changes to any direction in your consciousness. But when that is part of the human psyche and human growth and experience in this life, then you can't expect it to be undynamic. It's dynamic, so it can change. It's like the ocean water, up, down, smooth and stormy. It's part of nature and part of the way to evolve and learn and experience. So, on that note, you should be more clear that this is a normal thing, not to expect to see, well, wow, that's abnormal. Yeah. My picture is frozen here. Can you guys tell me if you can still hear me? Can somebody just say yes, no? I just want to make sure that I'm still, you know, live. Just throw me throw me a bone. Give me the info. Just quickly say yes, we can hear. Oh, there we go. DJ, thank you. So I'm just frozen, otherwise not muted. All right. Johnny B. Good says, I put her #1 in my life and did everything for her, but she always put me last in her life and didn't prioritize me as an important part of her life. So I ended it, but now I only think of the good times. Yes, that's all you do. You think of the good times and miss her because of that. Yeah, well, we have videos on that, that you should focus when you think of her. You should also bring up the files that include the information that lets you know how bad things were and the bad things about it, the things that were the reasons that it didn't work. Remind yourself of those. Then you will know why you're happy that this relationship is no longer a relationship between the two of you. Otherwise, you will only think of the good stuff, which is mostly pleasure, and the pleasure will blind you, cover your eyes and your mind, and then you question, why did I ever break up? What was my reason? It was all so good because you're only thinking about the good stuff. Bring up the files that tells you why things were not so good and the things that were wrong about it, then you'll be fine with the way things are, and you'll actually celebrate. Now, Lord Simon says, thank you, you're welcome. I don't know what for, but you're welcome. Hiruth Kibede says, from California, thank you, appreciate that. Samer Jalal says, hi, my name is Samer, 28, from Finland. Ah, what a beautiful country. Sir, I just want to say you are a really good person. Oh, thank you. And I always listen to your videos and it helped me so much. Sir, I have a question. Please, if you can, help. I just broke up. Ah, congratulations. You may not see it now, but it could have been a blessing in the sky. Samer says, how can I forget memories? You don't have to forget memories. You should compartmentalize it. You should understand them. Memories are part of your knowledge. It's there. Of course, the less you think of them, the less you will think of them, because the memories are only active based on the number of times you keep recalling them. The more you think of them, the more bridges will be created between the synaptic neurons. And these bridges will make accessibility to those memories easier. The more you do of something, you become better at it. The more you remember the bad stuff, then you become better at remembering them, and it's easier to access them. It's like when you play piano. The more you play piano, the better you get at it. The more you play tennis, the better you get at tennis. The less you play tennis, the less you play piano, the less you become good at it. You start forgetting. So we have an ability to learn things by keep doing them a lot and become better at it. And we also have the ability to unlearn things when we don't do as much of it. If you notice that, then it goes the same with the memory. The more you think about this stuff, the more you get good at it, the more you bring pain to yourself, because you think about all these lovey-doveys and you don't bring the stuff that tells you why it broke up and why you shouldn't be together. But the less When you do this other file, you bring all the files, is not showing you that it wasn't a good relationship, that it wasn't all that fun, remind you why it broke up, then it makes you not necessarily recall the memories often. And when you don't recall them as often, then you will unlearn those memories, which means it will be less and less likely for you to easily recall them. So by not losing them, you're reconditioning yourself, unlearning yourself of what you were so good at, which was remembering all these things. And to not to do that, you got to constantly, every time you remember the good, lovey stuff, also think about the stuff that were not good. Bring the files that tells you about the negative stuff of that relationship. Then that kind of decreases your appetite for keep remembering all those things, because with all the good memories, there's going to be automatic conditioning that all the other stuff that wasn't good also will come up to your memory, to your mind as well. And then that diminishes your interest to keep remembering it, to keep thinking about it. And when you do that, then after a while, naturally, the synaptic neurons will be marked by CQ1 protein, and the glial cells, when you sleep, will go and find the CQ1s, and then they destroy the synaptic neurons, the bridges that helps these connections between neurons, which helps you to pass along the memory to the other side, and then eventually to come to the screen of your mind, and you see it and you remember it. So when you simply train yourself that way, after a while you will less and less remember it, and you'll be also, in the meantime, you're busy with your life and building things and focusing on important things and building your life and being happy and finding good positive friendships and activities, and then before you know it, you've gone and built your life the way it should. Okay, now I think I read all your questions, all the other ones, and they all, so I answered them all in what I mentioned right now. No, I just answered them all. There is a video that I have called How to Delete Your Memory. You just go on my channel, the search engine, and key in how to delete your memory. And also another one's called, I don't know what it's called, but part of it, you can just put this part in the search engine and it will come up. It says, to the limits of addiction. Limits of addiction. And then there will be one that tells you why you feel addicted, when you break up, why you feel like that, because it's the same as being addicted to some drug. And that explains to you about dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and opioid and all that, and the role that the relationship brand plays in that. So these two perhaps would be something you want to look into it. And Holimina says, thank you for your great answer. You're quite welcome, dear. Yeah, Summer, I understand. I answered all of that in that response of me, my response. Now, Johnny B. Good says, California, I like it first thing. California, I like it first thing. I lost you. I think I remember what I said. You're probably responding to me, but I don't read your responses right after I said. I don't see them. I gotta scroll up, and by the time I scroll up, I forget what I said. But anyhow, thank you. Excalibur says, hola Mehran, hola Excalibur, ¿cómo estáis? Congratulations on 15K subscribers. You can now choose between 15 horses or one Bugatti. No, there's no money in it for you guys. You realize that, right? There's no money here. It's all free. Yeah, sometimes I get super chat $2, and that's highlight of our day here. But we need 1 million subscribers before we can really feel that we are reaching enough people out there, and we have now resources to maybe travel, put workshops, and help people to really understand and learn about themselves and deal with life much better. And I know you're just playing around. That's fine. I hope you're doing well, he says. But damn, it's been a long time. Yeah, I know, we finally got it fixed up. It was very nice to wind down with a cup of tea and interact with you multiple times a week and weekends. Well, here we are back again now. Hopefully we can continue. And we had a little glitch, and I think I was at fault, but I didn't know why that setting had changed to unlisted. I have no clue, no idea. I never touched anything here, but I noticed it and I changed it to public. Now we're back online, so that's good. Juliana or Juliana says, I'm 26, from Brazil, lesbian. I projected love on my therapist, and she projected other things in me too, not romantic, but was too confusing to both. In the process, totally difficult. Hope we can see beyond. Juliana, I need a little bit more detail on that. Let's see, maybe you have it here. It says, I don't know if it was the right thing to do or was just a resistance of us. I stopped because we were being a lot like friends. I care a lot for her. I'm sad but will pass. Thanks for your videos. You're quite welcome, Juliana. But if you need to talk to me, you can go on my site, mind@6truth.com. Click on Talk to Me for consultation. Make an appointment, either 30 minutes or an hour, and I'll double it. And we can explore this in detail, because I'm still not quite clear of what went on. And perhaps if you want to discuss it, explore it further, you're more than welcome to use that avenue, and we'll figure that out. Roman says, cold weather comes with all kinds of breakup questions. It is time of Nasruddin, camel driver. Yes, true, Roman. That's true. Johnny B. Good says, thank you so much. You just made my day. You're quite welcome. I'm delighted that you feel better and stronger. Ibs, whatever that stands for, he says, hello, sir. And hello, dear. I spoken to you about my ex a few weeks ago, and you told me to get off my ass since I was depressed on my bed. Lol. Thank you. I'm feeling much better now. Thank you, sir. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. This is what I want to hear. Good for you. Good for you. But keep getting off your ass anyhow. Don't sit on and think that, okay, it's all good now. Keep going. Keep going. Build. Enjoy responsibly. Enjoy responsibly. Adi says, my ex dumped me again. You go back to my other discussion about the word dump. Don't use that word. It's in this video. When I upload it, you can watch it, and then you will figure out what I mean and why you shouldn't. Out of nowhere, after 12 years relationship, and moved out from our apartment to an ex-coworker house. She says to everyone that they are just friends, but I don't believe that. Yeah, but you shouldn't believe it either. Or maybe it's true, I don't know. 4 months after the breakup, 1 month of no contact, and I cannot stop thinking of her. Why? Look at this live talk that we just had today. If you go through it from 0 minute to end of it, you will have lots of good stuff in here. We discussed lots of important things here. I don't want to repeat it. If you turn back when I upload it again in a couple hours, maximum in an hour or so, you will have access to all the answers to your question here, that why you should actually think it's important for you to think of her, and what should you do when you do, because it doesn't mean that she's of anything, any anomaly, any special quality. Why? Because she left. If somebody leaves you, that means signifies that she doesn't want to express her appreciations towards you, for you, dedicate attention and feelings reciprocate your feelings and towards you. Therefore, she's disqualifying herself. She's disqualified. She cannot be qualified when she doesn't want to dedicate her time and attention to you. Why do you think a girl should want you? Let's say another girl that you're not interested in. Why do you think she should be interested in you? If she would be interested in you when you're not interested or pay attention to her, wouldn't that make you feel like, wow, why? Why is she paying attention to me? I don't even care about her. I don't even pay attention. I'm not interested in her. Yeah? So you become even less interested because you're not interested. She's paying more attention. You can't understand why. Don't you think that she should stop paying attention to you because you have no interest? That should disqualify you in her mind. She should disqualify you because you're not interested in her. Don't you think that should be the case? Because if you say no, then why is it that you're not accepted by every other girl out there? If you're not paying attention to her, but she's interested in you, and you don't question why is she interested in me, I'm not paying attention to her, so then all the other girls that you're not paying attention, they should also want you. But that's peculiar, isn't it? You should first also like them and they like you. It should be two-way street, right? If it's not two-way street, then it's not a qualified pursuit. So for you to pursue someone or you pay attention to someone, your first requirement would be that if they pay attention to you, if that makes them qualified. If they don't pay attention to you, then they're not qualified. So any girl that you pass by and they're not paying attention to you, do you go after them? No, because you see there's no interest. Therefore, you don't find them qualified for you to spend your energy and time because you haven't seen any expression of interest from them, and that disqualifies them in your mind. So this one the same. It just so happens that you knew her previously, but that doesn't mean she still can remain qualified when she stops paying attention to you and wanting to be with you. Like the other girls that are not paying attention to you and you don't know them, then you don't care. You will not pursue them because you don't see any attention or any interest from their side. Therefore, when you don't see that, you disqualify them. You don't think they're qualified for you to go and pursue them and to become friends with them because they haven't shown you any interest. So why is it that you think this one that doesn't show you any interest is still qualified? This should also be disqualified because there is no feedback there is no reciprocation. So for the same reason, you should respect the same law, the same rule, and disqualify the woman that is not paying attention to you. Why should you want a woman that doesn't want you? Why? For what reason? It's only because you have memories that at one time she did like you, and you think that qualifies her constantly, keeps her qualified. No, it doesn't. She's changed. When she's changed, then no longer she should be qualified because she's not meeting your standards or your expectations, and therefore doesn't deserve your attention. He says, I cannot stop thinking of her. I feel hurt, sad, and numbed. We've been together since we were 16. Oh, that's the time to let it go. You know, how old are you now? You're not telling me, are you? So remember, guys, the protocol is what? So from now on, again, I keep saying it and I forget myself. If I don't see your protocols observed, meaning telling me where you tuning in from, which country, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman, if I don't have these basic information, you know, what is your gender, and so I can tailor make my response to you and properly respond to you, and from where you're coming from, I would know a little bit cultural backgrounds from you, or at least you can tell me where you're coming from. If you're not coming from where you're residing right now, just give me that information. Helps me out, and the fact that how old you are also helps me out as well. So these are the things that I need before I can really, you know, be more helpful in my responses. And he says, I feel hurt, sad, and numbed. Well, you shouldn't be, because nothing has changed in you. You're still the same. You're just thinking that way. Because as I said before, you only think about the lovey-dovey stuff, and you're not focused on what things were wrong and what went wrong and why she should no longer be qualified. You're not focusing on that, and you should. We've been together since 16. Well, okay, too long. And again, I don't know how old you are to know how long it's been. It's hard for me to imagine, he says, myself with another woman. Why? Get a grip of it. Why? Other women who want you would be far superior to the woman who doesn't want you. But you can't understand this. Huh? Somebody wants you and is qualified, you know, meets your expectation, classy, educated, you know, meets your consciousness, or, you know, is interested in you, and the other one doesn't want you, is not appreciating of your qualities. Why would you? It's a no-brainer. This one should be disqualified right away. This one should be given a chance. Simple. Simple. The rest of it is nonsense, because you think, I cannot be interested in another woman. Why? Why? Go and see what magic, what wisdom, what smarts, what interactions you can experience with this girl. There's so many wonderful women out there. Just because you know one of them you had, you know, memories with, or, you know, intimacy experience with, that doesn't qualify that woman to always be the best woman, even when she doesn't want you anymore. Well, it's equal footing. She doesn't want you, you don't want her. Go to the next one. So many wonderful women out there to give you life and give you good experiences and friendship. You should appreciate that and be respectful to that. Go spend your energy on the ones who are reciprocating and willing to appreciate your efforts and energy. She was my first. Oh, okay, it's puppy love and only love. And I was the same for her. Okay. But things change, and it has changed. And if we wanted to stay the same way as we were 2,000 years ago, we wouldn't be able to even, you know, I don't know, go to the cinemas or go to a restaurant 10 minutes away from here by car. Would have taken us for 5 hours. By the time we get there, it would be breakfast time, no more dinner time. So it's you know, progress is good. Therefore, it's a progress for you. I bet you're probably very young, and you think that, oh, first love, and so what? First of what? Move on. If she can do it, you can do it. That's my last word for you. Think about it. Think about my last sentence. Roman says, guys, the book are priced of coffee. Ah, I have a salesman here for me. Me, my Psyche, and I, one of the best, support the channel. There we go. Roman just got a gravy point as big as this. He just plugged my book. Yes, guys, please do go on my channel and click on the books. Watch the video of each book, a 2-minute video about each book, what the book is all about. Click on the books and look at the table of contents. It'll open up for you. You can see the table of contents. Click further, it will open up and you will have a chance to read a sample chapter of the book, and you can decide if it grabs you good, if it gives you the information that you are expecting to know about yourself and how to manage certain things, and to know more about your psyche and who you are and how you can manage your life and be in control of your life and negotiate your day-to-day life by looking at the table of contents, and then acquire it. It is, Roman is correct. The printed matter, which I have to ship a few today, they are expensive. They're $100 and $80, but I've turned them into ebooks, and they're so, the same book is so dirt cheap now. $4.99, $5.99, and $6.99. You have no more excuses. And definitely, as you know, I did not do this for the fact that I'm stupid and I don't want to be wealthy. Because definitely these kind of prices doesn't make me wealthy. But I did it on purpose, so every currency and every budget can afford it now. And nobody can tell me and give me an excuse that we really like the book, we have seen the table, but it's expensive. Now it's no longer expensive. It's all ebook, so you can have it. Now, thank you, Roman, for the plug. And keep it in your library and read it when you feel like it. And it's not a storybook to read it chapter by chapter. You can choose any chapter, jump anywhere according to the table of contents of what you want to learn, and they will give you lots of information. And me, my Psyche, and I highly recommend it. It's turned out a very helpful book about many things that you might want to know. All right. Ibs says, Adi, oh, you're talking to Adi. Okay, good. Kaj Tuta says, Mehran, king of the world. Oh, really? Okay, if that was it, I think I would do a little better job than what's happening in the world. How are you? It's me, Tuta. Hello, Tuta. Good to see you here. And Preston says, hello, hello. Preston. And Karine Ra says, your answers are brilliant. Thank you. Oh, my pleasure. I'm delighted that you enjoy them. Jordan says, thank you for your advice. You're welcome. Adi says, thank you for your words of encouragement. Oh, you're talking to Easy Bees. Okay, good. Oops, it jumped again. Dan Acevedo, 38-year-old from New York. Do I stay in contact with the daughter of the woman that left suddenly after 2 years? Her teenage daughter considered me as a father figure and would always come to me for advice. Sure, if she contacts you for help, advice, yes, why not? Unless the mother doesn't want that, then you have no choice but respect that. But leave the door open for the daughter. You don't have to reach her. You don't have to call the daughter, because that could have some kind of ulterior motives, which would mean for you thinking that you're staying in contact with the woman. You kind of keeping some kind of a connection. Don't use that. Don't use her for that. But don't contact her, but leave the door open and clearly understood by her that she can approach you, she can ask for your advice or help, should she need to. Otherwise, leave it alone. I don't know how old she is and so on, so these are all things that I don't know enough. So therefore, I can only offer this much of response. And DJ says yes, which I don't know what that yes is for. Person says, should I burn everything my ex gave me? She's in the past now, so I don't see reason to hold on to it. Well, listen, how long has it been since your breakup? I don't know that. So if you guys are sure you guys are not getting back together and these things are, you know, of no use to you, and you can't return it to her or whatever it is that she can use, well, you know, burning it, you know, it's like an angry gesture. Just throw it out. Give it away. Give it to some, if there are things that are useful to some people who are less fortunate or they don't have it, I don't know if it's a jacket or if it's something that's useful, give it away to some people to use it, to, you know, rather than burning it, you know, just give it away. If they're pictures, they're you just, you know, put them on a you know, USB and put it somewhere, and then eventually forget about it, and it gets lost by itself. And Juris says, I feel pathetic that I still think about my ex. It's been already half a year apart. You should feel pathetic. You should focus on your life, build your life. You're very important. Create an important life for yourself. Don't allow the importance of your life and your worth and value be in the hands of somebody else's choices and what they like or dislike. It has nothing to do with you. It does not diminish you in any way, shape, or form. Remember the analogy of spaghetti. You're always a spaghetti, just as good as always, regardless of who likes it or who doesn't. Ibs says also, sir, I'm 24 and from Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, we're really Canadian today, aren't we? We've got 3 of us. Oh, 4 of us now. including me. But I am moving on from my ex, feeling better about myself. However, I haven't seen a girl like her. And well, you haven't yet. Just because you haven't seen something, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You haven't seen it yet. I haven't had a better food than this yet, but they're bound to be much more delicious, if not the same, if not better, out there somewhere. I just haven't gotten to it. It doesn't mean because I haven't gotten to it, it doesn't exist. So don't think that way. Yeah, I haven't seen, okay, sure. Because you have lots of memory, lots of things, lots of pleasure, lots of la la la. And you think, oh, but when your expectations expands, when you expand and become more qualified, accomplish more things, have more confidence, become more qualified, then you think of yourself more, then you will expect more from your choices, from a woman that you want to be in a relationship with. You have higher standards. When those higher standards go higher and you expect more from your future woman or relationship, then you will bound to find someone with higher standards, because your standards and expectations went high. So obviously it will be more than the standards and expectations you had now with this girl. So obviously that woman, that new later future candidate, would be a more qualified person who will be far better than this one. But if you haven't increased your standards yet, because you haven't accomplished much in your life yet, then you can't expect to think, oh yeah, I will meet someone better than this. Well, you're still in the same level. Make yourself better, build your life better, accomplish more. You will be more confident, more qualified, expect more, understand more to expect more, and then you'll expect more and you will attract someone with higher quality. Then you will see, oh yeah, there are far better, more qualified, suitable mates, women for you to be in a relationship with. And then no longer you will think of this one as the best and all that. The quality and the importance of that person is limited to where you are in life. And if you elevate yourself with your accomplishments and research and learning experiences, then you can expect to find that better candidate. Okay. Ibs says relationship else says I'm not in good ex feeling better about myself. Okay, well, I'm also 24 from Canada, but I'm moving on from my ex, feeling better about myself. However, I haven't seen a girl like her and not in good terms, whose dates someone else, then says, yeah, I'm in a relationship, but he's not as handsome. I'm a bit confused here. Let me read again. Also, sir, I'm 24 and from Canada. Yeah, please do help me to know your gender, because I can't see your face in the picture and I can't figure out. So my responses would not be like, if I should say he, I would say she, or if I should say she, I would say he. So help me out here, because I can't figure it out from your sentences here, if you will. Remember, guys, it's important for me to know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, if you're a man or a woman, or what your gender is, whatever it is. It would help me to address you properly. I'm 24 from Canada, but I'm moving on from my ex, feeling better about myself. However, I haven't seen a girl like her and not in good terms, who dates someone else, then says, yeah, I'm in a relationship, but he's not or she's not, he's not as handsome, cute as you, but you're a girl. Are you both girls? I'm kind of lost here. Has your personality to their ex, which was me, her coming to my room when she was dating, thinking I didn't know. Let me hug her. Luckily I blocked. I am sorry, I blocked her. I can't figure it out. Thank God I don't have her in my life, but who says that I think she's playing games, or maybe she still has feelings. Regardless, I don't need a girl that confusing. Okay, but I'm confused. So maybe you help me out a little bit with, you know, so I can understand what the relationship is. You know, are you both the same sex, same gender, or is it? Okay, help me out here. All right. Because, you know, when you guys, when there's so many questions here and I answer one thing, and you may have said this information before, but when there's like 10 other questions and I get back to you again, I wouldn't remember what your question was and what your detailed information is, you know, age, where you come from, your gender. So you got to remind me again in your new question, if you will. That would help me out. Didi says, hello, sir, all the way from Saudi. Oh, my goodness. That is pretty late for you, isn't it? That is, ooh, must be about 11, what is it, 1:30 in the morning, is it? So I guess you say what, ahlan wa sahlan? That's limited Arabic I have. Segun says, been watching your videos as of late. Thank you for your insight. Well, you're welcome, but you can't get away with it so easy. You must share the videos you like on your social media, like them, and make comments and help us to be known. And if there, you know, some people in media or whatnot, and they want to interview with me, like I've had an interview with a media company in Australia and in India, I'll be more than happy to do it. That helps us to put us on the map and get us more exposure. So any of you guys can do that, do it. Will be definitely helpful. Segan says, my ex-girlfriend recently broke up with me, but wants to give the relationship another try. She's considering a separation until we decide where to go from here. Is this helpful? Well, you should be the judge of that. Is that what you want? But you can't go in, both of you, with the same premises and have the same mentality, not discussing things, or not trying to find compatibility, not communicating well, and all that. So you gotta have foundations become more helpful and more flexible, and then you will have more understanding of each other's consciousness, and that's when you can build something. Because you can't build a better place on the same difficult footing. So you got to change the footing. So if that is the way you can handle it, then it'll be probably just fine. Kalani says, that's what I like to see, my brother. Hello, Kalani. Aloha. Mehran live on YouTube again. Aloha, aloha, mahalo, and good to see you. I'm looking forward to some changes. Maybe I'll have an opportunity, I don't know when, but hopefully soon enough, to again go to my favorite place for a while and just do the videos from there, and hopefully that'll happen. Ibs says, bye, I haven't seen I haven't seen a girl like that. I don't mean it in a good way, sir. Lol, mentally speaking. I see, I understand. Okay. Excalibur says, Mehran, I hear there is a loneliness epidemic worldwide going on currently, primarily in developed countries. For example, more than half of us feels lonely. Do you have any thoughts about that? Well, we feel lonely because there's so much available, and we have a hard time to choose or settle with anything, because we have a certainly understanding of that there's a perfect thing out there for us when we're searching. Why? Because the search engines of all kinds are available. First of all, we're lonely because we spend lots of time with multiple relationships on media, on social medias. we spend our time with, you know, entertainments and with comments, and we creating illusional popularity by the likes and making posts and getting engaged, and that has become our virtual reality goggle. We have limited our ability to interact with the world through having these virtual reality goggles put on, which is the internet, the computer, the availability of entertainment and connections and interactions, all virtually. And when we have done that, we have therefore limited our interaction and connection and ability to analyze and interact with the reality, actuality of life, world. Therefore, we will not find it easy to choose anyone, because there's so much possibilities in our illusional mind available when we are on the computer, when we can see all kinds of people doing all kinds of things in posts that none of them really necessarily represents them thoroughly. It's just a fragment of their life, or maybe in good light. And we were attracted to that illusional, fantasy of that post, or that character, or that behavior, or that involvement of that person in life and accomplishments. And therefore, we constantly are focused on this virtual reality world rather than the actual availability of reality out there, and the people that we meet and we actually find out they're real, and yet we're not satisfied with that because we think we can have a better chance here. But it's not real even if you find it. And then you find it, and then you pursue it, and it doesn't work, and you get disappointed. So you prefer to be lonely. You don't want to go through that experience again. Why don't you just simply go out there, like the time that we didn't have computers and so on, and just, meet in, I don't know, in bowling alleys, or in soccer field, or, in the field of, in clubs of, sporting clubs, and, gathering places, and maybe, I don't know, places that you can meet physical beings, individuals, and then get to know their consciousness through actually having met them first, and see for real what their life is like about, like all the illusions, unlike the illusions that we see here. So I think that encourages us to be lonely, because it's very easy to sit at home and have your tea and be warm and watch a movie 1 second, and then go on social media, have a little bit of a chat and a little bit of a socializing, and then come back to your video or to your movie and watch something, and then go do something else, and maybe take a moment, go buy some milk or some tea or whatever it is that you do, and then come back and go a little bit of socializing and go to a movie again, or do some studies or whatever it is. It's all rushed and in small dosages, and you never build anything when you constantly have nibbles of things. You never get full by having a good plate of food in front of you and focus on enjoying and paying attention to what you're actually doing, chewing it well, digesting well, appreciating it, aroma of it, everything. But you do that, we nibble of this a little bit, and watch this a little bit, and have that a little bit, and then that automatically conditions you to not go after a relationship and not go try to do something that you won't be lonely. It encourages you to continue this lifestyle because it's got lots of varieties, but yet it's conditioning you to be lonely. That's one of the things I can say right here in short. Where did it go? Ibs says, I'm a male, okay. Didi says, Ahlan wa sahlan, right on. Okay, I didn't know what it means. I just know it means something good. Means like, hope you're well, something like that. Ibs says, sorry, lol, sorry for my bad typing. I'm 24-year-old male, and my ex-girlfriend has gotten into a new relationship. I heard the news from a mutual friend. The first time I saw her, she said, every time I see you, I smile, and bullshit stuff like that. However, before she left, she hugged me, then smelled me, saying I still smell the same. I'm assuming she missed my smell. Lol. Yeah, okay. She's being nice, I guess. And then when I was walking back from university, she followed me to my dorm, and her excuse was she wanted to see my room. So we talked a bit. Then before she left, I hugged her. I shouldn't have done that. Well, that's a natural reaction when you're with an ex-girlfriend and when she's being so nice. 'Cause she has a boyfriend, but I asked her if she did, and she hesitated to tell me at first, so she left, but I chased after to her to hear it from her mouth, even though I knew she said yes. However, he is not as cute, handsome, tall, and has a good personality as you, she said. I felt, then was she out of her mind? She doesn't have somebody as she preferred that you are, but then she's still there. What the heck is going on here? I felt good when she said that, but who says that when they are dating someone else? Then she was reminiscing the past moments we had in our relationship. After that, I called her asking if she still had feelings for me. She said no. Well, you shouldn't have asked her that. Then I don't know, while saying goodnight, and she hung up. I don't know, while saying goodnight, and she hung up the phone. I couldn't deal with that, so I blocked her. It could be lots of reasons. Maybe she still likes you. Maybe she doesn't know why she left. Maybe she just wanted to try something else. Maybe she was getting some novelty attention from this guy. Maybe she thought that there's greener grass on the other side. Maybe she just thought on the other tree, if she flies from this branch to the other branch, it'll be easier, there'll be more attention, or whatever the heck her problem is or her choice is. Whatever. You don't have to analyze it. It's not like she's the only girl in town. It's just you're in university, and in university you're supposed to expect relationships, breaking up, and she's young and she is being emotional and she respects the relationship you guys had, so she hugs you and she doesn't want you to have a hard feeling and all that. So that's all. Don't read into it. She's a woman. She's not like us men who made things differently. She wants to be soft. She wants to be nice. She wants to be kind. She wants to have your blessing in a way, but she's not asking for it. And she doesn't want to be hated. She doesn't want you to think of her as different as you did when you guys were together. So it's all that. She's being, touchy-feely. She's being nice and kind, and I don't know, she remembers how things were. She's being sweet, that's all. But doesn't mean she wants to be back with you. And you shouldn't want her back anyhow. You should be the one to decide. So, you see how things are, and that's not good, then don't expect anything more, and just treat it as that. Be there, be happy, say, okay, hug me, okay, there it is, there, you'll be okay. You'll have fun. Go and, find your place, and go enjoy your life. That way, even if you don't feel it, but just say it that way. Then she'll say, oh gee, he doesn't even give a shit. And that will be a better picture of you in her mind. Okay, let's go back to where I was before I got this one. Excalibur says, not half of us, Mehran, half of the United States, I mean. I lost what it was. I can't even connect with what you say. There it is. There is a lonely, half of United States. Yeah, I know. But when I say us, I mean people. And yes, and Excalibur says, and yes, you're absolutely right. I feel technology is one of the suspects as well. While you were answering, a beautiful V6 car passed by near you. Did it? I was totally in my conversation, didn't notice. All right. Emmanuel says, hello Mehran, what's your opinion on levitation? Is it mind or spirit related? It's mind or spirit related. Spirit, you don't have control on it. Mind, you do. It's something that you develop. Like the exercise I did in the seminar I had in that university, where that much bigger student, I asked him to help me to demonstrate the power of mind. I'm sure you've seen it, when he tried to lift me and he could, and then he tried to lift me again, then he couldn't. So that has to do with the mind, the way you process, the way you think, the way you focus. You can change the rules of physics. So that would mean that the reverse of it, the levitation, also would be the power of mind, and the way to manifest that would be through mind, not through spirit. I mean, that's what my understanding is at this moment. Didi says, Ahlan wa sahlan is greeting, means hello. Oh, I see. Okay, like salam, like assalamu alaikum, like hope you're well, or hello. So, and the last, finally we're there. Excalibur says, I will always smile when I remember that awesome person whose ex comes to him in his dream and makes him feel like shit. What the hell was that? I don't know. Always gets a laugh out of me, lol. I don't remember that, but whatever. And Excalibur says, Mehran, do you know Teal Swan? She's a famous spiritual teacher here on YouTube, and I noticed some similarities in your world views. She's interesting. Yeah, I've heard of her, and I'm glad that you enjoy that. I mean, you know, my channel and of course her channel, if you like. And yeah, she's pretty good in some things. Emmanuel says, how can I not get irritated when I hear a heterosexual girl calling another one sexy? Why would they even do that in the first place? I don't understand, Emmanuel. I know, Excalibur. I'm trying to reach the end, but there's always another one coming in. Like yours at the last moment. I thought it was done, but then you talked about the views of that you enjoyed at Teal Swan, and so I had to respond to that. Then another one came in. You didn't give me time to finish it, so you gave opportunity to others to put a question in. Now let's see. So Emmanuel says, how can I not get irritated when I hear a heterosexual girl calling another one sexy? What do you mean, another one? Another girl? Why should you be irritated? That's what she likes. What do you care? What you should focus on is what you like. And the ones who share your interests, so you can have a relationship with her. If this girl likes girls, well then that's not you know, what you're interested in, or it doesn't work to make a relationship out of it. So you focus on what you like, and she focuses on what she likes. So, you know, to each his own. Why would they have do that in the first place? That's their prerogative. Everybody is different, and that's their choice. That's what they enjoy. As long as neither one is imposing your own interest or will on the other one, then who cares? People like different things, and they pursue different relationships. It's up to them, and to you, it's up to you what you choose. So be happy for them and be happy for yourself. No big deal. All right. Excalibur says, it's like glitter. You try to get rid of it, but it comes back. Oh, see, there we go. That's right. Okay, guys, it looks like we hit the bottom. We finally found, and funny enough, we've been having 27 all through. So I hope you guys have clicked like before you depart here. Just take a moment and check and see if you've clicked like. And then hopefully Stian is here. I wish you all the best. Stian says, Mehran, thank you for your talk today. I wish you a good day, and I hope you sleep well tonight. I thank you very much, Stian. Delighted that you enjoyed the talk as well, and I hope you did. And anyhow, guys, I look forward to talk to you again. I thank you for giving me your time, and please do make sure you click on the like and share the videos you like on your social media, and at the same time promote the channel any way that you can legally find it possible. And if you know people in different mediums or media companies, and if they want to learn about us more and what my work is all about, they're more than welcome to talk to me, and so we can have an interview, and they can help put us on the map, and we sure need the exposure. Now, and also Sadiq says, thank you, sir, thank you, sir, from Sarasota, Florida. Okay, you're quite welcome. And guys, so I love you all. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and bye for now.